What's up, everyone? Welcome to Power Play with CJ. Today we're going to focus in on Paul Bissonnette, a.k.a. Biz Nasty, and why guys like him are perfect for what the league the league needs. I mean, I'm going to start off with who Paul Bissonnette is. If any of you aren't on Twitter, you're fucking retarded. But, Biz Nasty 2.0 on Twitter. Follow him. Fourth liner, kind of, for the Phoenix Coyotes. Borderline NHLer, and I say that with all the right intentions, all the nicest way possible. But, a guy that is an eforcer that can throw down a former Pittsburgh Penguins draft pick that went in the fourth round in the glamorous 2003 draft that gave us Ryan Getzlaf, Mike Richards, Patrice Bergeron, Eric Stahl, Nathan Horton, and Marc-Andre Fleury. I can sit there for hours and name the players in that draft and him. And he tweeted a picture of himself on draft day in the Penguins, hat and jersey, and said, that he looks like shit, and he said, that's what you get from partying all night in Nashville. So it's pretty cool, that the frankness there is awesome. And the Twitter thing, he's got Twitter abuzz. He's got 202,000 followers on Twitter as of right now, and he's tweeted over almost 5,000 times. That's the NHL is a fledgling league on Twitter compared to the other three. Stamkos has one, Ovechkin, Mike Green, but he's definitely the most active NHLer on Twitter for sure. And I mean, it's great for the game, because social networking is the best way to connect with people as a whole, and for athletes, musicians, actors, what have you, it's the best way to communicate with the fans. Because at the end of the day, it's the fans that are putting the money in their pockets, which for Mr. Bissonnette isn't too much money. But like I said, you're not getting a superstar here. Obviously, I can't reiterate that enough. But he's a guy that's gonna. He's like a Sean Thornton, just not as good. But personality-wise, you can't top what he does. When you got, he's bold with the tweets too, F words and then the twit pics are even funny. A couple of pictures of him wearing a thong and other stuff like that you wouldn't associate with an NHL grinder. But it's a league that's pretty mundane personality-wise. Ovi's Ovi, but Ovi really isn't. He's been under a lot of scrutiny. He can't really be himself because of the media scrutiny. But a guy like Bissonnette is perfect. He's just happy to be in the show, and he can speak his mind on Twitter. And the Coyotes, can use all the support they can get. So he definitely helps generate more interest league wide in the Phoenix Coyotes, which is definitely a step in the right direction for keeping that team in the desert long term. The Phoenix's future is always seems like it's in doubt every year. It is, but a guy like that, tweeting obnoxious bullshit, that's what people want to hear. People love that shit. So that's what you got to do. And I wish more NHL players were like that. I mean, come on. I can only imagine what the shit Brad Marchand would tweet. It'd be hilarious, some of the stuff that come out of his mouth. But that's a guy that's, I don't want to say a role model. Brad Marchand's a role model. That's Charles Barkley. I'm not a role model type thing. But if he's a role model, I don't know. Raise your kids better. That's all I can say. Can't really be as bold and upfront as a guy like Bissonnette. Like I said, you just can't reiterate that enough. That he's got a great personality. He's a beauty. He defines the word beauty. I'm sorry. That's just who he is. And like I said, the numbers at the end of the day, he has played 117 NHL games, 5 goals, 3 assists, and 8 points. Not exactly Steven Stamkos, but in the personality department, he's got Steven Stamkos. I love Stammer to death. Beaten by a country mile. That's what the league needs. Needs some moxie. And I'm sure I've never heard his chirps on the ice. I'm sure they're hilarious. I'm sure that they really make you feel like shit. I'm sure he's great at that. But the league should do more to. The league should encourage players to social network. It's kind of the NFL is kind of getting away from it because the guys like Ocho. I mean, Ochocinco's not that bad. He's sucking on the field this year, but he's not doesn't tweet anything malicious. He just tweets all the time. The NHL should encourage players to social network because that generates fan interest, which generates dollars for the teams, the league on the whole. You can buy a Bissonnette t-shirt on NHL.com. I think it's him and Keith Yandel, maybe Shane Doan. You can buy t-shirts for the Coyotes. Keith Yandel's one of the top 5 defensemen in the NHL, and Shane Doan's a great player that's a captain of that team. And you got a guy like that. That's what the social networking's done. He's set himself up for a career after hockey, which, being a guy like that, can can end at any time his hockey career because of being a borderline NHLer. But I think that's part of the beauty and what you're not hearing from Sidney Crosby and Steven Stamkos about how glamorous life is. You're hearing about just the shit that goes on in the trenches on a day-to-day basis of being a guy that spends more time in the press box than Andy Brickley. But that's all I gotta say. Really, you gotta follow him to really understand him. And I don't think you ever really understand a guy like Paul Bissonnette. He's kind of got a little couple screws loose, but that's part of the beauty of it. You never know what he's gonna tweet next, and that's join the ride. What else can I say? That's it for the Power Play with CJ on Paul Bissonnette and how guys like him can make the league a better place. Stay tuned for more episodes throughout the season.